Today's show is brought to you by homebrewsupply.com. Homebrew Supply is your one-stop shop for brew day ingredients, recipes, equipment, and more. Take advantage of everyday low pricing and everyday flat rate shipping at homebrewsupply.com. Go to homebrewsupply.com right now, use our promo code HHH, and you'll get 5% off your order. homebrewsupply.com. Let us help make your brew day better.
Entertaining shows with content that spreads information and sparks discourse throughout the community. This is the Pearl Media Network.
Oh, hey there. Welcome to the Homebrew Happy Hour. This is the show where we supply the answers to your homebrewing questions and discuss all things related to craft beer. If you have a question you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, go to homebrewhappyhour.com and click on the submitted question link at the top of the page. Or now you can call or text them in by using 325-305-6107. I am your host, Joshua Stubing. Today I'm joined by the Director of Operations at cmbecker.com, Mr. James Carlson, as well as the Chief Keg Washer and President at kegconnection.com. Oh, look at the handsome gentleman there on the screen, Mr. Todd Burns. Guys, how are y'all doing today?
Good, and by the way, I have been taken off of keg washing duty officially. So.
Now it all makes sense why you had the procedure. You're tired of doing all that keg washing. It's not.
I am tired of it. The doctor said I absolutely could not lift kegs. So.
Yeah, and you have actually a long time before you can. What does a keg weigh full? An empty keg weighs right at 10 pounds, right? 10 or
weighs about 11 pounds, and I can't lift more than 10 pounds, so I can't even lift an empty keg.
Man, how heartbreaking for you. I don't have a condition, and I still don't try to lift kegs.
I was going to say that's a bonus, not having to lift kegs.
No kidding. But
I was planning on ordering a whole big order of kegs because I know I don't have to help unload them. So.
The last one I heard actually went really smooth. Apparently, you had a bunch of people on hand, and you unloaded those things
really well.
And speaking of which, those racetrack kegs that happened to be in that load that we just did this huge sale on Keg Connection recently, they went in 45 minutes. They sold out in 45 minutes. Did that keg push on Monday, and just one person announced it on the subreddit for homebrewing, and immediately they got bought up, and it was limit one per customer too. They went a lot quicker than I thought they would, but I guess when you do a $20 keg, people are going to jump on it nowadays because the pricing is not going down, unfortunately.
Right.
Not in the near future, at least. But that was cool to see. Yeah, you're not doing any keg detail. I do appreciate that you came on. If you want to give a quick update, I have that in the show notes for the small talk. How are you feeling? You put your dog collar back on, but before we recorded, you had it off, and you had that nice scar right here in the front.
Oh yeah, I take it off occasionally because I start to get kind of sweaty, and I got to dry it off for a minute, but I try to keep it on almost all the time. I don't have to keep it on, they said, when I'm eating, because it's real hard to eat with it on. And when I'm like if I'm watching TV in the recliner and I'm not moving at all, but I definitely have to have it on when I sleep. So yeah, it's kind of a pain in the neck.
Hey, James did a dad joke before the show. You're doing one on the show. I'm gonna have to think of one to do.
It's a collar humor. Yeah.
Collar humor, white collar humor. Get it?
Yeah, white collar humor.
Thank you. I'll be here all day. Speaking of kegs, let me segue for something I mentioned in the show notes for small talk. Our keg labels are in. If I was smarter, I would have brought some over here. Todd, do you have any near you?
No, not in front of me. No.
Show them on camera. At this point, I will do an insert for the final video so people can see, and I'll include a photo in the show notes at homebrewhappyhour.com. If you go listen to our episode there, the keg labels came in. They look good. I showed James. I happened to receive them right before I left headquarters yesterday, and we got some magnets in too. Things are coming along for our newly launched Patreon, but those keg labels,
they're nice. I grabbed a roll of them, so they're for my house. Very nice.
You didn't take the whole roll. I told you not to. You grabbed like 5, right?
He's ribbing you.
Okay.
I saw him cut a few off, and they took just a few with him.
Okay, thank you, James, because I was about to just stop recording. I was going to cut him out, and you and I were going to do the rest of this episode by ourselves. I specifically told him because there was 2 roles. I will go on.
Probably get a roll next time I'm in the office.
I should have taken
a lot.
I should have taken them
rolls
with
are
me.
like that big.
How many would you say? I would say each roll has 2,000, 1,000,
at least 1,000 or more.
They're so thin. The sheet that is, but the roll is so thick. I mean,
and you know, the one thing that we noticed about those labels is a real thick, heavy plastic. So, you know, you're not gonna have a hard time pulling them off the keg when you're done.
Yeah. They're nice. I'm excited about them. There actually is a keg right there. If you're watching the video, that keg right there, I put the label on, getting ready to have a keg of fancy water on tap. Don't get too excited, guys, but I'm going to have some sparkling water for this weekend because I'm not going to be leaving that couch right behind me very much after my procedure tomorrow. Thank y'all for recording this a day early. We usually record on Thursdays, but we are actually recording this on Wednesday. Because I'm going to be out of commission tomorrow just through the weekend. Todd doesn't think I need to take any time off after having a vasectomy.
My wife got me in the car and had me drive. As soon as we were done, we drove to the Rio Grande Valley. It's a 10-hour drive. Every time I complained a little bit, she said, "Oh, try having a 10-pound baby and shut up."
See, that's not a fair comparison. I mean, but you wouldn't have expected her to drive right after delivery, or did you? You didn't have her drive right after delivery, did you?
Of course not. Yeah, I'm very sensitive.
Very sensitive. Yeah. My wife is not sensitive to it either. Or she offered, I guess, to take off if I wanted to. I said, you don't need to take off. My dad's going to drive me there and he's going to bring me back when it's done. I'm told it's very quick. I've been studying this guidebook brochure for what to expect, what to wear. I'm ready, but yeah, I'm not going to be in a condition apparently tomorrow to want a podcast, or much less, I sit on this bouncy ball when I do the show. Apparently, This isn't going to be my chair for the immediate future. I'm going to have
to be the only ball you have when you're done, right?
Oh, we are full of jokes today. I love that. Before we get into the questions, one more little piece of small talk that I'll segue us into. As I talked about the keg labels that we have, those are going to be shipped out as part of welcome packs. If you're in our Patreon, we do have a newly launched Patreon in case you haven't heard. And if you haven't heard, it's because you're either skipping episodes or you don't follow my aggressively unfunny Instagram post that I make. I did do a bumper. I'm going to play it here shortly. I showed you already, Todd, and if you follow us on Instagram, you've already heard it. But I'm committed. The rest of this month is not going to have we're not going to have a sponsor for the episodes the rest of this month. We're just going to push the community that is growing on a daily basis over at patreon.com/homebrew happy hour. I was, I can't take things serious, and I was in a joking mood, and I was like, man, I need to make a new bumper for the show, just a tasteful one that says, hey, patreon.com/homebrew happy hour. We hope that you join us. We're doing good things, blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking, I have a buddy, his name's James Scott. He's down in Florida. He's done a lot of production work for me for voiceover. And I was like, I'm going to send him a dry voice script, and see if he can get it done maybe in a week or two. I don't want to push him. I sent it to him. He gets it to me the next day. So I was like, oh, hell, I got to make this for this week's episode now. So let me play the bumper that we are now going to be playing at the beginning of the show, or at the very least, we're going to end the show with this bumper. But it's very PBS. I grew up watching a lot of PBS. And
you're not even going to have to show it by the time you finish describing it.
Oh, shut up. Okay, here we go. Here it is.
This program is made possible by the checkbook of Mr. Todd Burns and by contributions to our newly launched Patreon by viewers like you. Visit patreon.com/homebrew happy hour and join our community. Thank you.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's nice. So you just had you said you were going to show it, but you didn't show the video part of it.
Oh, gosh. That's not how this works. On my end, like the end is what the people are going to be watching. It had it. Yeah. But you got the audio piped through to you.
why did I get cheated on this? I don't understand.
I don't know what to tell you until they make a technology that allows me to do all of the above. That's all we have. I could get I was able to get the audio.
I do want to say that since my surgery, which was extremely expensive, you can't imagine how expensive it was. I'm out of money. We really, really need you to join our Patreon program.
Yeah,
please help us.
Yeah, I like the post that you put on Instagram.
I got some pain here, so let me stop. Anyway, yeah, we do need your help.
We do, yeah. That's what. Well, Todd wrote this nice thing about joining our Patreon and being a part of it, how expensive production is, blah 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 blah. But he then sent me a photo that's so pathetic that I couldn't even post it, of him like with his neck brace on, like almost a tear coming out of his eye, like join our Patreon. And I don't know if it would be effective because it made me laugh. I couldn't stop laughing. This was the first time I saw you in person, and you're just walking around like the juggernaut, that X-Men character.
I don't actually move my neck. Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's not.
But we're driving down the highway yesterday, coming back from the office. I went into the office for a few minutes, and my wife's like, we're passing something. She goes, "Oh, look where that accident was." And I'm like, I can't turn my head. And then like 3 minutes later, we're still driving. She's not making a joke. She just keeps forgetting. And she's like, "Oh, that's cool. Look at that." I'm like, I can't turn my head. Listen, if you want me to see something, you got to tell me like 500 yards out that it's coming, and then I can look at it as it's coming and then slowly turn my head. But you can't tell me right when it's past where I can't turn my head at all. I can't turn it at all.
James, I was up there Monday night, and we were walking back to the barn. We just had dinner, and the sky was absolutely beautiful. It was 8:15, so the sun was like almost fully set, but the sky was like this beautiful blue, purple. There was the moon was out, some stars. It was just gorgeous. And Todd's doing his juggernaut walk right next to me. And I didn't even think about it. I said, "Oh my God, look at that sky right there." And he's walking like this, and then he stops. And the way to get his head up is he stopped, he thrusted his body down, and then shot it up like that. And I just started crying. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. I thought he was going to throw out his lower back, man. It was unintentional.
It was like this, right?
That was it.
Yeah, that is a pretty sky. I bend my knees and go backwards a little bit.
He did. He was limboing, but
no, I didn't bend my spine at all. I bent my knees to do that. There's a technique to that.
Look, to be fair, man, you're just one chunk of mass. I don't know what it begins and where it ends. Like your neck, I'm still not convinced that they did neck surgery because I didn't know you had a neck. But you are just one mass of burns, not massive.
Yeah, they mentioned they couldn't get the breathing tube down me when I went into surgery. They were panicked and they were like, they had to bring somebody else in, and the guy was telling me about what happened and how they couldn't get the tube in, and they had to get one that was bent different and all this stuff. And I was like, so basically it sounds like you're saying I'm like a Neanderthal. Like, yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, and which is of no surprise to anybody, especially those who know you.
No offense to you Neanderthals.
Yeah, all the Neanderthals listening, we good show. So that I think that's all of our small talk. We have a couple of questions for this week, so let's get right into it since y'all got a busy day. The first question came from Steve. He used finally somebody using our voice line and not leaving me a troll message. I could do, if I have to do an episode by myself in the near future, I could do one of all the Michael Scott-ish type of messages. "Hey, Shrek, this is Donkey," or "This is Tito calling from
This is Mike Tyson.
Yeah, this is Mike Tyson." Yeah, I have a huge collection of those, but Steve used our voice hotline and has a question for us. So let's listen to what Steve has to say.
Hey guys, this is Steve from Philly. Sorry to bother you at work. Just had a quick question. Big fan of the show. Been listening for about a month or two now and just binging it to and from work. But my question has to do with using nitro. I was wondering, when you want to dispense with nitro, should we be carbing with nitro, carbing with CO2, doing a mix of the both? What's the best way, to accomplish this? Maybe maybe the all knowledgeable Todd would have a good suggestion for this once he recovers from his neck surgery. Thanks so much. Keep producing some great content. Really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to assume here. Did he say he was talking about beer, right?
Yeah.
That is a
Okay.
strong assumption. Yeah.
Okay, because most people that do this with beer, they do a mixture. They call it a beer mix. Depends on what area you're in. It can vary a little bit from 65 to 75% nitrogen, I believe, is the two mixes that are most common. And basically, you have primarily nitrogen, but some CO2 as well, which kind of gives you a combination of the texture and bubbles and everything. Now, I just to be clear though, if he was by chance talking about coffee, you don't ever want to use any CO2 when you're nitrogenating coffee. It has to be 100% pure nitrogen. With either one, you basically just infuse that nitrogen the similar way that you would infuse CO2, and then your nitrogen faucet, typically what it's actually doing, a lot of people are confused. They think somehow the faucet infuses the nitrogen in there. It's actually breaking the nitrogen out, because the nitrogen doesn't break out like CO2 as easily. It's very, very small bubbles, and you run it through that plate to get the nitrogen to come out in the glass and have that cascading effect that everybody loves. So yeah, you want to do the infusion. I could explain the process, but really there's so many people online that go over how to do it, and it's fairly, it's a fairly long explanation and different techniques that they use. That's what I would do. I would just Google infusing nitrogen into keg, that sort of thing. And James, you've done it before with coffee, right? Didn't we do a batch of coffee one time?
Yeah, we did 100% nitrogen with coffee, but I don't believe we served some stouts that were carbonated with CO2 with nitrogen. Mm-hmm. But I don't think we've ever got around to using any kind of beer gas mixture with a stout.
Yeah, because it's hard for us where we are in our location to get we could get a mixture, but we use nitrogen a lot for coffee, and so we'd have to take another nitrogen cylinder and purpose it just for a mix. And we may do that at some point, but
yeah,
it's summer right now. We don't have a lot of nitrogenated stouts on tap,
So maybe that's what we need to do next. Our next big batch of beer, we can get ready for do a milk stout, like a nitro milk stout, and try that.
Yeah, well, we got to do one for the winter. We've already talked about doing a Christmas beer.
Yeah.
So that's not necessarily that would be nitrogenated, but we could always do a kind of a dark, heavy Christmas beer, and do a keg that's all CO2, and do a keg that's nitrogenated, and kind of play with the differences. So
definitely. Yeah, I think that's a plan. Or we could do a nitro Christmas beer, a stout type of Christmas beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think asking, apart from what Steve said, carbing with it, like you're talking about beer gas or just pure nitro. You also said, due to your location, where, like going back a few steps, I get CO2 filled. Well, obviously I get it filled usually when I'm up there with you guys. But if I wanted nitro, is that going to be at the same kind of supply store that I go to for my CO2?
It's very, very easy for you because you have Austin and San Marcos. You've got multiple shops in each location that, maybe in Kyle too, that actually do beer gases and everything. So
I was going to say, what do you ask when you go? Do I say
I want beer gas?
And okay, so it's that common to just say beer gas.
Oh yeah, because they're, you want a nitrogen beer gas, a mixture,
a blend.
A blend, yeah. It's super common. Any big city's going to have bars that serve beers on nitrogen, and they're going to have that available.
Right. And so, but the nitro you got for coffee, because you don't want beer gas for coffee, is still, if that's hypothetically speaking, and not to just talk for the sake of talking, but that's all someone could get, that would be fine for their stout nitro beer.
Use that. You could use that. It wouldn't have any carbonation in it, though.
Okay. Well, that's
So, I mean,
that's
you
what I was
don't have
trying to.
then you don't have any carbonation. So you don't. I mean, you're not. Guinness is a nitrogenated beer, but it definitely also has CO2 in it. So you're going to get a really different mouthfeel if you don't have any carbonation in it. You're not going to have that carbonated beer feel that you're so used to.
See, that's what I was trying to draw out of you, like because the things that are like James can elaborate. The things that are affected, like mainly would be not just aesthetics, but mouthfeel would be the main thing affected, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, short and sweet. I like that. I know my minimal experience with nitrogen is not from a personal use. My wife wants on our kegerator to do cold brew coffee, in which case it would make sense to use nitrogen, but I could also dispense it without nitro. But
we've got nitrogen at the office and we've got a regulator. You should take it to your house and use it, because you're probably not going to always have it on tap. Use it for a few weeks or a month, and then when you're done, just bring the stuff back.
Right, and I really want a good excuse to use the V3N, because I think that faucet is just gorgeous. Like it is.
Yeah.
And we sold a couple to Teddy's Brew House. They're going to be serving stouts and cold brew coffee.
Yeah, that's the new brewery in Brownwood.
Yep.
That you've actually helped them brew on Saturday, right?
We did. We did a batch of Amber Ale Saturday.
That's the most beer you've
gallons.
ever. Yeah, I was going to say that's the most beer you've ever brewed, right?
Gosh, it was so much fun getting to use that system, and it's so super efficient. We undershot our efficiency on paper, so we ended up making almost 40 more gallons of beer for nothing.
I was going to say, James, you're already saving them money, man.
Yeah.
What did they get?
Yeah, it was fun.
How long till you leave us and you go brew for him full time? I mean, is that the elephant?
I really, really, really can't reiterate this enough. I love working for Steve.
I know.
And that's not being facetious or jokingly. I really love my job here.
I know for sure. The photos that you were posting, I was like, it was a kid in a candy store.
Oh, it was fun. Yeah, it was fun to get to play on that big system.
I can't even imagine. I mean, I get intimidated when I just need to remember it's all scaling, right? I mean, it's
it's just we use the brewing software. So the cool thing about that, any brewing software you have, including Brewer's Friend, you can scale a recipe up and it adjusts all the amounts accordingly. So it was real simple to do. We just had our efficiency set at like 75%, and it was about 85 actually.
Wes has got to feel good about that. That y'all could get that from his system, right?
Yeah, he felt a lot better after doing the first batch. He did a heck of a job. He brewed a Kolsch yesterday, so.
Dude, I'm so ready.
Oh, he did brew another one. I was wondering, he's going to have to brew a lot fast.
Yeah, he's got a brewing assistant that came from Guadalupe Brewing Company.
Oh, I didn't know that. So they did hire somebody to brew.
They did. She's been brewing over there for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And she's been brought in to help give Wes a helping hand, because he's got too many irons in the fire. He's like you, Todd.
In Small World, Joe actually knew her because Joe had volunteered there for a while helping brew when he was living in this area. And you said, oh, they got a brewing assistant. We're all in the break room, you, me, and Joe. Yeah. And he said, oh, really? Where from? You're like, oh, I forget the name. I think it's like Guadalupe. And Joe was like, oh, is it someone? You described her little, and he was like, oh, I know exactly who that is. Oh, she's great. And Teddy's. What I like about this is that they're doing it right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be what leads to their success, is because
absolutely.
They're not
anytime you put Seebenbecker faucets in, everything else just falls into place.
That's right. I love it. That's what I'm going to put the boo doo doo, the more you know, little shooting comment. Well, I really am excited for Teddy's. But anyway, Steve, thank you for submitting a real question to our voicemail hotline. Anybody that wants to be included, you could go to dial in or text 325-305-6107. And I'll likely take it on the show just because I'm not used to not getting a troll voicemail. If you want to even use your troll voice, I'm okay with that. Do whatever you want, but maybe just make it on topic or not derogatory about me. But anyway, moving on to question number 2 came from Michael R., who used the submission form at homebrewhappyhour.com. Michael wrote in, "Hi guys, I'm also from Texas, and I see Joshua posting brew day videos on your Instagram account, but I want to know how the hell you guys are brewing in this heat." Interjecting real quick, I'm not brewing in this heat. And the ones who are, they're brewing in air conditioning. So
Yeah.
that's answer number 1. My real question is, if you could describe what your 2 chiller method is that I've seen in some of the photos. How does it work? Because it looks like one is in ice, sending cold water to the other, and then the water leaves that chiller leaves the chiller inside the wort to a drain. Are you using pumps to accomplish this, or is it gravity or something else? It looks like something I need to be doing, but you don't have a tutorial on it, and I can't find any. Thanks for taking my question. Well, Michael's right. We don't have a tutorial. We've talked about a tutorial. Funny enough, recently Todd actually made
a tutorial on the system. I mean, we do have we wrote instructions on it.
No. I think most people mean like a video, like on our channel. Like we don't have. You have a video because I write back to these people, and I wrote back to Michael. He submitted this question, I don't know, 10 days ago. I wrote back to him, and he found your video on the wort chillers, and I guess you had mentioned how you can use 2, but we didn't show like here's how you do it. To be fair, Michael really did answer his own question, didn't he, James?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you use one coil to pre-chill the hot tap water coming out of the line, and then that's sent through another chiller that's immersed in the wort. So
yeah, we definitely need to do a video. I thought we did a video on that.
See, I did too.
I thought I could have sworn we did a video on that.
No, I went through so we would have done it on that brew day where we did film James doing the decoction, and we filmed Joe.
Well, we talked about doing it when we got our new chillers in. We said we were going to do it. We got to do that because we did the write-up on the stuff for the new chillers, but you got to see it. It's so simple and so fast, and it works so well.
It does.
I mean, I think a video would be great. Maybe, we'll try to do a video on that as soon as possible.
Yeah. Yes, and so to answer his question, no, they are not using pumps.
No, we're just using the water pressure from the tap, from the hydrant.
Yeah.
So imagine this: you've got your water hose that you'd normally send through the coil immersed in the wort. Well, the problem is, what we have here is it's 90-degree plus water coming out of the tap. So we had to figure out a way of pre-chilling the chilling water. So we just took an extra bucket, put it in line after it hits at the end of the hose, immerse that in a bucket of ice water. It chills it down quick. Make sure the coils are expanded apart because it'll be more efficient that way. And that way, by the time it makes it out, it's super cold and it'll hit the wort and it'll chill it down real quick.
Are you guys using that?
Oh, I know what the video is. We did do a video when we did the video that explained how to spread them out. We also went into how to use it that way, Josh.
Oh, okay.
You weren't the one that did the video. It's the one that.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think maybe a literal explainer video with a bucket of ice, because I know that wasn't in the video.
No, but I'm just saying we did have that in. Well, in that particular, I don't know where that video is.
No, it's on our YouTube. I'm just saying you did not. You didn't cover this in detail. I did not produce the video. I wasn't up there, but you didn't cover this method in detail. You're saying you did?
I think I did.
Are we doing a $5 bet? Which, by the way, I lost the last one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do a bet with you.
Oh, no, I don't want to do a $5 bet.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to cut this all out of the show again. No, I have never cut out any of my losses. Todd very quickly, the last one I lost, he very quickly let me know that I lost it. And
what was that one about?
Yeah. About the cooler,
what y'all paid for the teaser.
So he was like, "Oh no, you paid it was like $700-800." I go, "No, it was less than $500."
Yep.
If
within 3 minutes of the show being over, I sent them the original invoice from Home Depot for the one that we bought for it was actually like $399 plus tax.
And it was free ship to store, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, free ship to here, actually.
Actually, that's right. I forgot about that. What a bargain. Because I was telling you when we were talking about it that you could get them for less than $500.
Yeah.
And you come running in the office and said, I found one for this price. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
How big is it? You know?
Yeah, I wish you were on the show, James. You could have saved me $5, man.
Well, but you asked me something the other day. How long has it been since I brewed something?
Oh, yeah, we were going to do another bet.
Yeah.
Was it with fruit? It was with fruit, wasn't it? Like
Yeah.
when's the last time James brewed with fruit? And I was going to take the over on 2 years, and I was going to give you that $5 bet, Todd, for double or nothing. If he brewed, when the last time he would have brewed with fruit. I think that was the bet. It was only last week, and I literally listened to each episode at least twice, only because of the editing. People,
it was it was over 10 years ago.
Over 10? No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, just to finish up that question, I mean, James just described I think you described the whole thing. I may have cut him off, but it is a very simple process. I mean, the one thing I would mention is that when it's super, super hot, I think it's important. I've learned this lesson the very, very hard way. Let it drop down to maybe even 90 or whatever your water temperature is.
Under 100.
Yeah, try to get it under 100. If your water temperature is 92, it takes a long time to get it under 100. But before you start throwing the ice in, otherwise you eat up so much ice when it's super hot.
Yeah, it's just you're spinning your wheels. You're not doing any good with that extra ice. You're just wasting money.
Because I kind of got impatient last time, and I started at like 210, and man, I burned through like 40 pounds of ice, and I was trying to get ice out of my freezer at home and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, you need a lot. You need more ice than you think you do. But I would say the last time I did it, though, not the last time, the time before that when I wasn't impatient, I definitely got it done. Remember, this is a 15, 16-gallon batch. It took about 40 pounds of ice to cool that all the way. So on a 5-gallon batch, maybe
you can probably do it with a bag of ice.
Yeah.
So are y'all doing this every brew day or only summer? Like, are you having it like we hadn't
had to do it when it's cold and the tap water's cool, just when it's warm.
Okay, I was gonna say, because
I have to on my well. I mean, what happens on the well is it does start to get cooler if you wait a while. So it's not really 90 degrees when I'm brewing at home, but it never gets as cold as it does in the office during the winter, except in the very beginning while it's going through the pipes. But once you get actual well, or it's got, the pressure tank, once you get past the pressure tank, the water pipe water, then you're getting actually much warmer water in the winter. And I might still have to use ice.
Yeah.
Okay.
It really depends on your situation.
Well, if you remember the water line that we get here at work, it runs all the way down the highway, parallel to the highway. So it doesn't take much weather to affect the temperature either way.
Yeah. In the winter, it's freaking cold, man. I mean, it's if it's below freezing outside, that pipe gets it'll get to 40 degrees or.
Yeah, we checked it. Remember that one day we checked it. It was like 45 degrees or something like that. We didn't have to do anything.
No way.
The nice thing about my well is because the pipe's really long. I mean, it's going like 200, 300 feet from the well, and it's a pretty big pipe. It's a 1 inch. And you've got the pressure tank, which is going to obviously be colder, whatever, say there's 20, 30 gallons in there. I don't know how it is, but you got a long ways until that warmer water from underground starts hitting it. So, and it's when the water's super, super hot in the boil kettle. So by the time you end up having to add ice, you don't have to use near as much ice in the winter.
Interesting. Well, good. Well, Michael, hope that answered your question. Yeah, my pop and I haven't had a brew day all summer because, well, one, we brewed enough to get us through, and then James sent me home with beer another time. That 5-gallon of Kolsch you gave me in June, I think it was.
So I guess it was. I don't even remember what we were.
It was June or July that you had an extra keg, and you're like, "Hey, take this home." And so I was like,
second or third pitch on a yeast deal.
Which, by the way, what a good segue. That Kolsch you have in your Blickman ferminator or whatever, the massive conical. Holy moly, that was good. It was
That's a second pitch yeast batch, and I just collected the whole thing out of the. We did a batch of Coles for Todd. It was a little drier and a little hoppier Coles.
Yeah, I like it better than the one in the fermenter that you have now, but it's only because, as y'all all know, I like a drier beer. That beer is freaking spot on, and unfortunately, I floated it last night.
Oh no!
I went to get a beer. I went to get one of those little 7-ounce Kolsch beers, and almost to the top, it shot foam out and
That's the
splattered
worst
my
sound
beer
in the
everywhere. Oh, it's terrible.
I did my part on Monday night, man.
I know. I swear that thing was full before he stayed there, you know. And
I did my part. I posted on our Instagram, like, guess where I am and guess what I'm drinking.
Oh, that's all you drank the whole night, wasn't it?
It is.
I had
Besides,
plenty of it before you got here.
yeah, you remember, because every time I had a glass, he'd be like, what are you having now? I was like, oh, it's the Coles.
That's what he was meaning. You're having my Coles.
He did.
I was that way with the blonde alt. I couldn't get enough of it, and it didn't last probably 2.5, 3 weeks. It was gone.
He still has some of that, which, by the way,
dude.
incredible. The lager too. Holy moly, man! I'm spoiled there. And his bottles. He has such a good selection of beer right now that
I've been drinking. You know, I have been, but not. You know, like the night you were here, I had like 3 little. I didn't drink very much.
That Friends and Allies red IPA that you brought. That's wonderful. You have a lot of good beer in your fridge and on tap and coming soon. I'm hoping that one in the fermenter right now. I don't know what your plans are with it, James. I don't want to put you, Johnny, on the spot. But if a cat doesn't end up at Todd's house, I'm gonna cry.
Well, it's going to caps and corks.
Oh, that's right.
Caps.
Rhymes and vines or caps?
No, caps and corks and
Caps
brownwood.
and corks. What is that?
Yeah. It's a thing kind of like rhymes and vines, but a little higher fluting.
Oh,
I liked that. Todd, my people, you know, the sophisticated kind of person goes to caps and corks. It just sounds better. No, it's just a different town.
It's either like corks and caps or caps and corks.
Same difference.
But that was I used the yeast from the previous batch that we did for Todd, and I just pitched that right on top. And it finished out. I did that on a Friday. It was completely done Monday.
I'm not going to hold my breath that there will be any left, so I won't get my hopes up.
Well, actually, you know, Todd and I are going to brew another batch Friday. So.
Yeah, we're doing the same beer that was in my kegerator. We're going to do that Friday.
Oh, wonderful. I love it.
When he says Todd and I mean, look how useful I'm going to be.
Juggernaut over there. Hey, Todd, can you just have him walk around for entertainment?
Todd, would you mind getting the thermometer for me? Oh, yeah, I can pick that up.
No, God, no. Oh, yeah, maybe the thermometer. Don't let him handle the hydrometer.
Who is he trying to fool? I'm going to have to tell him, no, you can't do that. Don't do that, Todd.
Yeah, I know. We're joking about, Todd,
yeah.
I was over there, and he, we're picking up stuff around the barn, which, by the way, Todd, say something so the camera goes to you.
Okay, the camera's on me now.
Yeah, that's the barn. If you can see it in the background, that's the barn.
Yeah, y'all take a look at when Todd talks up his barn's behind him.
Yeah,
it's the barn. You're gonna see some freaking cows walk through here any second now.
Yeah, no, the worst. Yeah, cow is in cafe, your old lab that weighs a gazillion pounds. But besides that, no, it's the nicest barn I've ever been in my life.
It's also the nicest place to brew beer because not only does he have a really cool brewing setup, he's got a conical with temperature control. He's got a kick-ass kitchen, big long counter. He's got the sound system is out of this world.
Big screen TV. Yeah. He's got Netflix with The Office for days. It is.
Yeah, if it was mine, I would be making up arguments just to get sent over there.
Just to have to work from home.
That's what I'm doing. What are you talking about?
You've done
Look at me. I'm at home. I've been at home for a week and a half now.
I love it.
In my home office.
I love it. So to wrap up Michael's thing and subsequently this episode as well, because I'll just keep small talking us into rabbit holes. We will do a video on chilling using that system, whether it's just something, quicker, sooner than later, like on y'all's brew day, if y'all end up using that, just getting some footage and going, hey,
we could just do it on our phone, couldn't we?
That's what I was just saying. Todd can just do it on his phone. Don't do it World Star hip hop style where you're holding the phone, where you're holding it like this. Hold it in landscape when you're filming for me, please.
So you don't get that little banned on the video.
Yeah,
so you want it in landscape, huh?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
just to be safe. Most phones, if I film holding this in the native video app or camera app, it should still put it out at like 4:3 or 16:9. I forget.
My phone does awesome video. I swear it's almost as good as a video camera.
It does.
So,
You have that new Pixel 3 or new. I mean, you have one of the latest versions of the Google Pixel, so it should do just fine.
Oh, my daughter's got that. The other video camera.
Oh, she has her GoPro Hero 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Better.
Yeah, you know what? That would be perfect. But again, funny that you say that. The GoPro, if you were to hold it not in its native landscape, but the other way, it will purposely film in that like Snapchat, Instagram story kind of resolution. So whatever you do, I'll make it work. But I'm gonna have to give a disclaimer, like Todd's an idiot if you don't film it the right way.
I'll be happy to do another video of it, so I can do that on Friday.
Yeah, do that. Okay, perfect. So then very soon we'll be able to publish something, because again, it is, once you demystify things, people appreciate that, because like, oh, that's not hard, like that's not intimidating at all. And wort chillers aren't that, like that bundle I was talking about, they're not that expensive to get that bundle. I think it's on sale for like $100 and something, low 100s, which
it works really good, because
we'll do we had done a special on it when we first launched it. Maybe we'd do a special to come out when the video comes out and we launch the video.
Perfect. I'm on board with that. So Michael and Steve, thank you so much for submitting your questions. Fellas, I really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on the show today. Todd, it was great seeing you all in all your next glory.
Good to see you too.
And James, thank you so much for taking time. I know y'all have not even had lunch. You've been so busy. So I appreciate everything, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
And that will do it for this episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. If you have a question you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, go to homebrewhappyhour.com and click on the Submit a Question link at the top of the page. Or now you can call or text them in by using 325-305-6107. Thank you to our show sponsor, homebrewsupply.com, for supporting our podcast and the homebrewing community. Go to homebrewsupply.com, use our promo code HHH, and you'll get 5% off your order. On behalf of James Carlson, Todd Burns, and the Pearl Media Network, I'm Joshua Stubing. Thank you for listening.
This program is made possible by the checkbook of Mr. Todd Burns and by contributions to our newly launched Patreon by viewers like you. Visit patreon.com/homebrew happy hour and join our community. Thank you.